Good morning, good afternoon, and hello, everybody. This is Studio Radio inside Liberia. We are glad to be here today after the Easter, and we hope everybody is doing well, especially that part of the world, Africa, Liberia. We are hoping that those who celebrated the Easter today, I hope the Easter has not left you, meaning that Christ is alive and that you live in according to his his purpose for your life, for your lives. So we are glad to be here this morning. This morning we have just three issues. We want to relook at the um, the CPP saga. We also want to look at the issue of Princess Cooper, the lady that was killed, that was allegedly killed. That investigation, we still want to throw light on that and to remind the state that it's still important that they come out with um, the preliminary investigation or the report so that Liberians can be in the know as to what has happened. Also, we want to look at the nearest talk about issue that is the state of the Ike Park that was dedicated just a few days ago. These three issues are what we are going to discuss this morning, and join us wherever you are. Share the broadcast, we would appreciate. And if you have a question, just post the question. We will be here to address those issues. Once again, I am James Jensen, sitting pretty in Pennsylvania this morning, and hoping that life this week be good. Let's look at first in the Princess Cooper's case. We have talked a lot about Princess Cooper. This young lady met her untimely death um, at the business center of Fawaz. And the government of Liberia has called for an autopsy. Prior to that, we are informed that there was no foul play, albeit the police um, is still investigating this matter. But the question is, how long is the government going to take to release its report? We also understand that Councillor Tiawan Gonglo is representing the uh, the Princess Cooper family. Hence, we are certain that there will be um, a report or a conclusion of the investigation by the Liberian government. That being said, there's nothing that the Liberian people can do if the government cannot protect them. In conjunction of that, there is a lot more we are hearing that Princess Cooper um, family are grieving in that there were a protest. Uh, Protest is a right of the citizens to demonstrate, to call for an action. And if the people are gathering to protest, it is also the responsibility of the government to provide security. There's information that Princess Cooper's mother was badly handled. The lady is grieving for the death of her daughter, and others have decided to join her and call for a speedy report or investigation. In the process of that, again, there was some upheaval, some ugly situation, some beating of those who went to protest. How Liberia is going to get better is a concern of those of you who are in Liberia. The U.S. government have said all that for Liberia to get better, it depends on Liberians. No one is going to come into Liberia easily to demonstrate for Liberian, to provide justice for Liberian, for the apparatus of government to be better. It's only Liberian, those who are in governance and those who are outside of governance. The governance process or call for actions on issues like prison scrupule is dependent on the government, civil society organizations, the media, and all persons within our republic. We are not even hearing civil society organizations in Liberia speaking out as they should. The churches are not speaking out as they should. I'm sure if one person dies in a country in a mysterious way, if that became a concern for every group within Liberia, every Liberians, the government also would be curious about speedy investigation. Where everybody in Liberia thinks, okay, it's not my business. Oh, AI, and then it's over. There will be a repeat of what is ongoing. You all are aware. We need not to re-emphasize this. There have been several deaths. As we speak, there is information we have not gotten the full information yet that indeed there is again death in some part of the southeastern eastern side of Liberia. We are hearing that 3 persons got killed, allegedly for something people describing as it's an allegation. Now we're still investigating this matter, and as soon as we get the detail of this matter, we will release it. It's an allegation, and we was term it yet as a rumor because we're still gathering the full information. 3 persons were murdered in the southeast. Now, there's a lot of deaths taking place. Most of those deaths are mysterious circumstances. Now, we do not know whether the police don't have the capacity to investigate these matters, or it's just some unpreparedness of those who are heading the Ministry of Justice, by extension, the Liberia National Police, to do investigation into these matters. Look, if one person gets killed or found dead in a mysterious way, it doesn't matter how long it takes, but it should be the willingness of the government, the Ministry of Justice, to report the matter, to investigate it and report those issues to the public. Liberia, if somebody dies, is like a wildfire. It's been discussed widely. And after a few period of time, that become a very silent issue. That person's death is like it concerns nobody. Society cannot grow in that way, in that form and manner. Until the police or the Ministry of Justice come up with a report, it should be the business of civil society organizations to speak on these issues continuously. The media, there should be editorial, there must be continuous report or raising these matters until the government herself can find reason and give a clear report on these matters. I don't want to talk much about the national legislature. I don't know what they are doing. Most of the time, when citizens, the people that voted them in, if one of them dies, you don't hear the speakers talking. You don't hear the president pro tempore talking. You don't hear the entire national legislature making comment. Society is structured in a way and for a purpose. The people's representative, if one person died mysteriously, it should be a matter of concern. If the national legislature has taken prison scrupule matter as a priority issue, calling on the Minister of Justice, summoning the Minister of Justice to give a report, I'm sure by this time they would have said something. But how long is it going to take a Minister of Justice? How long? If the Speaker and members of the House of Representatives have called on the Minister of Justice to do all they can to report this matter before a select committee, like the Committee on Judiciary, I'm sure the Minister of Justice would have submitted a report. Mossadegh, Serena Seafood, and all of those people at the Ministry of Justice are under obligation to inform Liberians as to the status of this guy's death. So people speculate if you don't get that information. When people speculate and then people come out again, oh, the people hate the government. They don't like the government. But the government is being paid. You use taxpayers' money to be paid. So you have a piece of job to do. If you don't do that job perfectly, people will question you. I don't know which society, Liberia is not a communist country where people feel that people shouldn't talk. Even highly educated people are making those kind of comments. You know, Liberia is a country, a democratic country, a society where everybody should speak their minds on issues confronting the nation. It's not like Russia where the people living, they don't even know what is happening around them. They can use the internet for public information, government not informing them. Let's say I want to turn Liberia into another Putin, or Georgia into another Putin. Other than that, Liberia should speak on every issue. That's a democratic country. I don't think anybody in that country will allow that country to degenerate into some kind of a different country. It's not a communist nation. That's a democratic republic. So says the Constitution. So, Princess Cooper, we are hoping that the government will address this matter. There shouldn't be one of those issues that will be swept on the road. Sometimes think about it. What if it was you? What if it was my child? What if it was my daughter, my wife? What if it was a relative of mine? So think about it. What if this girl was your relative, was your daughter, was your relative's child? I'm sure that would have been a very one-day investigation. What if this child was related to George Weah? Or the Speaker of the House of Representatives? What if this person was related to the Vice President? Those of you who are in authority, high places. You think that's how it would have been handled? Now, somebody said the mother, the parent, did not want to go to see the autopsy at the criminal law, and as we have idea as to what an autopsy is like. I said it before; it's a gruesome process. I don't think anyone who is grieving for their child will want to see an autopsy report, an autopsy be performed. So the issue is not whether the parent wanted. When you have an autopsy, when you have the people respecting the government, when you have the people believing the government, believing the Ministry of Justice, had the police never earlier released that girl death, there was no foul play, who knows? Probably people would have had more confidence in the government. But that is why it is. Yet, you need to make a report to the people. That's why you were elected for. That's why you were appointed for. It's not a private job where you can decide whether you report or you don't report. You are under obligation. The Constitution says that Liberian people must be informed on the day-to-day workings of the government. So please, my people, we need that girl's death. Whoever killed her, we hope justice will take the course. It doesn't matter who that person was. If that person was a friend related to George Weah or anybody in government, whatever it is, like whether that person providing the best financial resources for the CDC, their persons must be prosecuted. Nobody should die, and nobody gave life. Somebody just woke up for some reason. Let us assume that girl did the worst of anything. She should have been carried to court and prosecuted and tried. But not for somebody to kill her in that form and manner. And people think that's all about it. She's dead, and her life on earth ends that way, and nothing has happened. It hurts. I imagine what the family going through. So Mossadegh, the obligation is on you. Please, please, please. We are to a radio. We calling on you to give a speedy report. In the absence of an autopsy report, do a thorough investigation and give Liberian people what has happened. The autopsy is not going to say all. The autopsy is not going to say who was where and what happened, this and that. We're not going to say, okay, Prisoner Cooper died for natural death, or no, she was killed, she was murdered, there was a cut on her, there was this one. That's all the autopsy is going to be talking about. You're not going to say who are those involved. The allegation of people who are involved, that is the look. If the Liberian security forces are not trained, find money and train them, send them for thorough training, so that when a kind of situation happens, just examination as to the crime scene. That's what people want to happen. You see in the country, we're not police officers here, but in America, when something happens, the first thing you see police on the scene. They're trying to trace every mark over there. They secure the crime scene. President Cooper from crime scene were not protected because we saw it live. The power of social media make us to see all of those things. So please, we want the government to do something, and it shouldn't be, I don't know how long this is gone. And the government is still maybe investigating this thing besides the autopsy report. That's one issue I wanted to discuss this morning. The next issue on that matter, we're still following, we're still listening to see whether the Ministry of Justice, Mossadegh, Serena Sifos, and all of the employees of the Ministry of Justice will see this girl case as a priority issue. She's one Liberian that just lost her life, and we want to know what happened to her. She's not related to me. Nobody should think, but she's a Liberian, right? She's a human being. She had a purpose for her life. God put her here for a purpose. Even if that girl was a grown-up girl, it doesn't warrant anybody to take her life. Even if she had done the rest of things to anybody. That's why you have the court system. You have justice. People who are hurt, they must go to the court. Not to kill somebody and think that you're doing a good thing. If everybody decides now to take actions into their own hands, that become a lawless country. So that's what we're calling on the government this morning. And John Weah himself, why John Weah can be concerned? Why can't he ask the Minister of Justice to submit before his to him or to his dad or to the Minister of State a report, a finding? Why John Weah is quiet? A president of Liberia should be concerned about in the United States as Joe Biden is. Joe Biden would be saying, people, you know why? I've lived my life, everything's well. But when somebody dies, it's a concern of the authority. Primarily, the president of the republic should be concerned of every citizen in the country. You can say, oh no, that's a minor issue, as you know what they call. If the president has addressed a singular issue like that, Princess Cooper's case, other people will not be. As we're talking now, we are hearing that there is death. 3 persons died in the southeast. Those one, we're still looking up to those matters to see whether the information will come. The citizens should not even be looking for these answers. The government should be able to be quick. As soon as it happens, the government should be saying, okay, we have report that 3 persons have been killed in this part of Maryland County, and so we're going to please the citizen. We just enlighten you people, but we will definitely get to the bottom of these matters. If the police or the Ministry of Justice were doing that, people will have confidence in the system. So we end on Princess Cooper case. We want the government to do all they can to do thorough investigation and report this matter. Besides Princess Cooper, we want to talk about this CPP saga once again. We know there's an issue that's being discussed. It's like the dynamics are changing every day as we monitor what is happening in Liberia. CPP entered into a collaboration. They agreed, the political parties agreed. They said, well, we'll work together. We know the Constitution of Liberia says it's a right of anyone to associate and disassociate. It's a right given unto them. But when that right accrued to me, when I decide, the Constitution says it's a right to associate, right? It did not say do not associate, or when you associate, you should not disassociate. That right is a decision accrued to everyone. It's a decision that anyone can take. So when you take that decision, when you enter into an agreement, that agreement is binding on you. We are hearing that the Minister of Justice, now I haven't read this, but a very credible person called me and told me, saying, guess what? The Minister of Justice has issued an opinion in the matter that is before the National Election Commission. I said, really? How would the Minister of Justice issue an opinion to say that the CPP document is not involved when there is an ongoing trial? Isn't that sub judice? Or the Minister of Justice can issue an opinion when there's a trial? Okay, no, he shouldn't. The Minister of Justice shouldn't. Now, let me be clear on that. I haven't read this yet, but it's so touching. Right? There's an ongoing hearing. It doesn't matter what the Constitution says. That's why they get lawyers for the parties. If the lawyers don't know the law, it's not the Minister of Justice's right to tell the lawyers what the law is. No. Let us assume the Minister of Justice will go about, issuing opinions on all cases that are before. The Constitution is clear. If the lawyer for the other parties believe they can utilize the provisions of the Constitution, it is their right. Let them let them do their research and decide to dismiss the case or throw the case out, or let them convince the hearing officer of the National Election Commission. But in fact, that is not a matter. We are told. Now, I'm one person who have said NEC, the National Election Commission, the provisional listing that was put out for Lufa County. The UP is failing to do what they need to do for themselves. It's not because anybody hates any political party here. I'm one person who believes in multi-party democracy. Let everybody take part. Who wins, wins. Anybody who don't get a number, they lose. They go in a corner, they go sit there and watch a governance process. Do not disenfranchise anyone from participating in the election. Albeit, everyone should also live by the laws. If you enter an agreement, CPP, all of you guys, this agreement was filed with the National Election Commission. The National Election Commission has in its possession an agreement. Let's agree that there was a provision that said, well, when you join the CPP, you're not supposed to jump out. Or when you jump out, you're not supposed to contest the election. That agreement is with the National Election Commission. The National Election Commission took that agreement and issued a certificate for collaboration. And then political parties that form part of this collaboration are breaking away. They all want to just say the Senate also they're causing noise. That's what I would tell me. They're causing noise. To do what they need to do for themselves, they are not doing it. All along. One person will jump and say, oh, I'm breaking away from the political party. They'll have a big press conference. Sorry. They have a big press conference. The press conference is going to say, okay, you know what, we don't want to be part of the CPP. The CPP, there is an allegation of, the document, framework document being tampered with. That is not how you end this marriage. The UP is married to CPP. The AFP is married to the CPP. The Labour Party is married to the CPP. And which other party? I think you're four, right? Every one of them, you're married. How you divorce? You don't leave a woman, you're in confusion. The woman leaves, you go to a parent place, you spend 10 years there, and you on your own doing your own thing, then you say you divorce. No, that's not how divorce takes place. To divorce, you must file a petition before the court. The court must hear the matter. What are the reasons that make you people not prepared to live together? What are those issues? Don't sit in a corner and think that you are divorced. No, you don't take those actions no matter how long. Anything happens to that woman, they will call you. I may not like how you call him, Musability, but he may have a case in this matter. He may likely win this case. Now, my English is right? I said he may likely win this case. Why? Because if he is the chairperson of the CPP, he has a right to protect whatever document that you all enter into. And everybody must live up to that document. The best way I've told people that the best thing that the UP need to do, and the UP, let me say this. This local candidate by-election is the smaller one. If the UP sits there and don't take the action necessary, she might become the victim of the 2023 election. How to go about it? This is a free advice to the UP and all of those parties. How to go about it is to file a petition with the National Election Commission. You went before the National Election Commission, you say you wanted to get married to the CPP. The National Election Commission say yes, okay, we agree. You guys, yeah, will give your marriage certificate. That was the certificate for collaboration, and then you operate as a political party, as a collaborating group. To break away from that collaborating group, the legal way to do it is to file a petition to the National Election Commission and tell the Election Commission, because of A, B, C, D reason, I don't want to be married to the CPP again. Then the National Election Commission will say, why? Okay, yes, CPP, yeah, come. UP, come. Okay, UP says you don't want to get married to you because of A, B, C reason. Say you can cheat. You know, the marriage certificate, you play inside it. That's not what the marriage is intended for. So everything that the UP say, why you say CPP? When the National Election Commission should have found that there was a legitimate reason to break away, they will now declare the CPP or the UP outside of the CPP. Then the CPP will be considered as an idiot. Don't forget, the United Party is a registered political party. Howbeit, being a registered political party, you decided to waive those rights to the CPP. So the CPP, the National Election Commission, has no document before it, although it has the UP political party basic information with them. But what do you want the National Election Commission to do? To ignore the document before them and do otherwise? No, it doesn't work that way. Even if the National Election Commission did that, we will question the National Election Commission. The National Election Commission has granted a collaboration to those parties. The National Election Commission must live by the document before it. Now, you all also causing now, Alexander Cummings changed the framework document. He took signature page, he put it on the document, and all of those things. Where you place is supposed to prove whether Alexander Cummings did those things is not in the streets. It's not by having press conference. It's by filing a petition and attach those documents to it before the National Election Commission. If you fail to do that, and you want National Election Commission, I'm not a fan of the whole National Election Commission arrangement. Even the chairman of the National Election Commission, there's questionable issues about her right now. All right? Albeit, look, until Liberia become honest to themselves, that country is going to be just the way it is until we all will die living that way. The National Election Commission is not a party to your conflict. She's obligated to live by whatever document before it. Y'all go up to the Supreme Court, will tell you the same thing I'm telling you today. All right? When you marry, you're married. Until you divorce, you're still married. Some of you don't want to hear these things, right? The collaboration still stands. It's not the way you're going about it. Now, educated people, lawyers are all part of this whole arrangement. The one you're doing in the street is called tautology. Is the noise in the street. It's not a legal process. It has no bearing on the document before the National Election Commission. Now, the two things happen now. The magisterial court is one case. The whole CPP people are messing yourself. You go to the magisterial court. You think the magisterial court is going to tell you, say, you're not part of this? No, the magisterial court has no jurisdiction on this matter. It doesn't. Magisterial court goes to a criminal matter, this and that. Yeah, after the criminal matter, what happened? The magisterial court cannot say you or because of A, B, C. The magisterial court will say, okay, you know what? Let's assume that I'm one person who feels that magisterial court should not even be making decisions on this matter. This is a pure political issue. All right. Let's assume the magisterial court say, okay, you know what? Okay, the rule that Alexander Cummings tempered the document, all of those things. The magisterial court cannot say that the parties are not collaborating anymore. Why you all are messing this thing up? If Magisterial Code said that the thing you have to do, the thing you fail to do, you have to do it still. You still have to go to the National Election Commission. This is a free legal advice for you guys. You have to go to the National Election Commission. If you don't do that, you may be denied the general election that's coming. 2023 election. They will tell you, only the CPP will take part. Then you'll be crying fire all around the place. All the people want to school, you know too much vote. You want to organize political party, you want to run a political party, you do the right thing, live by the laws. You don't just be crying behind Joe we are alone. If there's time to cry behind Joe where you cry behind him. If the time you're going to cry among yourself and do what is right, you do it. If you don't do it, you want people to just side with you because what you call it opposition. You need to do what you need to do for yourself. Legally, the National Election Commission is not going to do for you what you feel to do for yourself. So we said the UP is like, I listened to Mr. Joseph Boakai, a former vice president of the Republic of Liberia, a statement. Is issuing threat in the midst of all of these things. What can that do to the process? Why can't it take the best of action? Press conferences, look, the media is good, but the media cannot do for you what you feel to do for yourself. The media will blow the trumpet. That's all the media want to do for you. But if you cannot take the actions necessary, now this is what lawyers do most of the time. When you hear all of these fights, you sit down and start to strategize. How can we approach it to get this result? How can we do it to get this result? When lawyers should have done all of those things, the lawyer will say, okay, you know what, look, UP, this is how we want to approach the matter. UP will come with all their noise. When lawyer decides to listen to politicians, they will not do what they're supposed to do for their client. The lawyers should take charge of their case when it go before them. After you listen to all the fight, the lawyer will say, no, guys, they are talkers now. Some of them, they thought they know the law. No, they don't know the law. They just talk the thing that they know the law. So when they come to you as a lawyer, tell them, hey, they don't want to give certain advice. You can listen to them. Don't get me wrong. Listen to them. And if you listen to them, you say, okay, guy, wait a minute, you came to me right. I'm the lawyer in this case. Otherwise, you have said, I'm not going your route. This is the route we will take because I think we'll take this route, we will get this result. Don't say, oh no, we're going to file a case before the magisterial court. Then you're the lawyer now, you say, okay, yeah, we'll file a case before the magisterial court. Is that Juma Jala just dealing with other people? Because what? You decided to destroy yourselves. Things that you are done to sit in as political parties. When you are a political party, you are mature. There will be differences. When you can sit and resolve those differences, think about it. If you take state power, what are you going to do? Other people are paving the way for Joe Weah to win the second election. Joe Weah, in my opinion, you ask me as my personal opinion, they haven't demonstrated enough for this first term, to convince Liberia for the second term. But the way you opposition political parties are going ahead, you are missing it big time. And Joe Weah, I'm sure Joe Weah, you say he's not a politician, he doesn't know all the politics, but hey, you are giving him the tools to win the next election. It's not late. The CPP can still hold. Maybe all of these things are happening because what? Maybe you guys may win election. Or it depends whether you guys will still going to sit and say, look, Joseph Boakai, Bernard Ure, and the Labour Party, and the ANC, maybe you need to rationalize and say, hey, bargain be bargain. You cannot sit and go and learn the Labrador. You get the CDC to be thinking. You cannot uphold the CPP document at different national. If there's a private CPP national, like a framework document, what is it? Is it to the point where is it superseding the general interest, the purpose for which people collaborating? If not, if it's a minor issue, you would have dealt with it. How you're going to handle it is up to you. You want to break away, you go to the National Election Commission, you file a petition there. All of those who think they should be part of this should break away, file a petition jointly before the NEC and break away. Other than that document is still the framework document I'm bound to put together. That's our take, and we'll keep following these matters. We'll see what's going to happen. Now the provisional list is out. The UP is tentative. Balakai, I'm told, he's the UP candidate For expedience sake, they will allow the UP to take part in the election. But how will the National Election Commission do that when there is a framework document in the possession of the NEC? So very likely, if the writing is not done, the NEC may deny the UP, and there's absolutely nothing going to do about it. And I'm one people said, if I the UP, if I was a legal counsel with the UP, we would have in fact stopped that election. We would have represented our client who was denied a seat, challenged the process, told the Supreme Court. Even if you only succeed, but you are succeeded in delaying the election, the May 10 election. Pani Samka is quiet. The party that put Pani Samka forth is quiet. What do you think? Anyway, that's a broad thing, right? So we're still monitoring you guys that are on the stage. You need to do what you need to do for yourself. You don't do the right thing, nobody's going to do it for you. Okay? So we're following this saga, the CPP saga. Whether there will be a meeting of the mind, someone will tell me, say, you know what, I can put a party together. I say, yeah, it's also good. This is the best time you do that. You know, you can amend the CPP document. You can even find a petition to amend the CPP document. You know, assuming that something went wrong and you put on talking about it, the way you went about it was not properly the right way to uphold your collaboration. You all could decide to file a petition to amend the document that before the National Election Commission. In that process, you all could have said, okay, no, this is a document, Mr. Alexander coming like they attached to this thing. Howbeit, this is criminal, this is wrong, but for the purpose of collaboration, because we want to convince Liberians, we're not going to put our dirty clothes in the street. Okay? All you have done, amend that document, and then other people go to the National Election Commission, you're staying there, you're file the document to the National Election Commission. Now, wouldn't that be an easier way to do it? Other than that, yeah, but that was not the issue now. For someone who understands politics, that was not the main issue. The main issue was who become the standard bearer of the CPP. That's the crux of the matter. That's the crux of all the confusion. Not necessarily that people didn't know that you could have had the right to amend the document. But who becomes the standard bearer is an issue before the CPP that caused the CPP to break apart. And all of those guys who are, believing that when this person becomes president, I will have, the cake to share, I'll be part of the share of the cake. We're also part of the confusion of this whole CPP. Okay, and so with that, we're still following the CPP team. The last thing we have here is the state of the art part. This is something that I said state of the art. And I read one paper yesterday. I think they avoid that phrase. All right. State of the art has to do with technology, technique of using technology in the creativity of anything that people see. You hear people talking about drone, using the drone in destroying big tanks of the Russian army. And these are state of the art, creativity that people, created. So in Liberia, when there's a low piece of land being beautified, people call it state of the art. Now we want to wonder why you call it state of the art. Maybe you have a better way to say it. Besides that, sometimes we wonder whether government has priority issues. There's nothing wrong with the government. That field is beautiful, is well paved, and it looks good. All right, but let's think about it for a moment. How many Liberians children are going to be there? All right, going to play on a field. If we say park, it sends a signal that it creates opportunity to the young people for relaxation, recreation. When they are going to school, they come from school, there's too much tension and all of these things, they must have time to play. But how many of the Liberian children are in school? Those ones that are in the street, the Zogo, what can they do? What are the priority issues of the government? We are showing the University of Liberia campus dilapidated conditions. How is the government discussing development in Liberia? Somebody say Liberians shouldn't talk. Oh, they can be criticized again. Why can the Liberian criticize? Why can Liberian rationalize what you're doing. If you're doing a piece of job, Liberians will critique what you have done because guess what? It is their money. The money doesn't belong to George Weah. It's not McGill's money. It's not Senatore's money. They are using state resources. So those people should speak when they think you are doing something for them. Now, I was reading George Weah's first nation's address to the national legislature. When he said the coastal highway would have been a priority issue, the time that he spoke about that would have started. We haven't touched any of those things yet. When somebody go back to that address and point out all those things you say you are done in the first year, then you say people hate George Weah. Can somebody from Nima County come to that park to do what? Is it a national agenda that park will be built to every city, every county, every district, every community indeed needs a park for children to play? So it doesn't matter where. The park is good. You should have place for people to play. You have play for people to have fun. But it's an agenda. Or George just like I listened to this fellow say George just walking in one community, he saw the people turning away, he asked him to go and see what the people want. How that part came about. Good enough. Somebody will say that's an amateur project. Somebody will even say that's a political project. That's an election nearing project. They want to convince Liberia to give them power again. That's why they put the mini project into place. When they should, why George Weah couldn't build a pipe prior when he first took office? Why? But he decided to build his houses first. All of them get houses. The cost of those houses is far more than the cost of that pipe. True or false? Why you can release the amount of the cost implication of that project? Then you'll see people come and criticize. Who told you Liberia is a communist country that people shouldn't talk? Who told you that? When you started that other one, when you were causing us all around the place in the United Party regime, and now you know people shouldn't criticize? You do what you're supposed to do. Do a durable project. When you have left, Liberia going to see this mark. George Weah to play the first thing people started building a statue all around the place. Where's David Coty today? David Coty, where is he? That's our beaming statue for George Weah. We haven't even done the first kind of George Weah before. Then he didn't pack them after George Weah had built all of his mansions. They gave a pack. Then you say like Roman and talk. Howbeit, this is Studio Radio. We are glad to be here. We just thought to throw light on these things. We're still going to be here. Thank you so much for those of you who have watched us. And we said we want to hear your comments. This is not about hate. This is the true independent way of discussing the issue. This is not a hatred, it's a fight. When Biden activity, all this thing Joe Biden is doing, people are still asking questions. That's what democratic nations do. When you say you take a project, the lawmakers should be asking, not just looking and they find the beautification. They should be asking, how much was put in this project? Was there corruption in this project? Did the people say they use X amount of dollar? How much? Is it truthful that they use X amount of dollar? When citizens begin to ask these questions, it makes a lot of sense. It makes us silently believe these people are elite, rather than people sinking and dancing because some kind of low project is being completed. Once again, this is 2A Radio inside Liberia. We have been here broadcasting from Pennsylvania. And of course, our anchor person is sitting pretty in Minnesota. Patience Blake, we say thank you. And those of you who have been watching, join us next time. We will be here with Inside Liberia. Thank you. Until Thursday this week, we're going to be here. This is James Johnson. Join us again next time. And thank you for watching.